cured meats. I'm on a pregnancy diet now. I can only eat meats that have no chance of having listeria. All right, let's talk about a fly. Get ready for a lot of coughing this episode, Derek. Sorry.
Coffee? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you need water? Do you have a glass of water, Amanda?
Just finished off my water. That's why I'm coughing now.
Should you go get a glass of water real quick?
Probably. I'll be right back.
Let me use my professor tone. Do you need to use the restroom right now?
You need to go.
Do you need to go?
We can't have a pee break for Dr. Fed. Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome to Bugs Need Heroes, a podcast where an artist and an entomologist team up to illustrate the inspiring ability of insects by creating bug-themed superheroes. I'm Amanda.
I'm Kelly.
Producer Derek and Desdemona are also here. Before we get started creating this bug-inspired hero, what's bugging you, Kelly?
Oh, what's bugging me? Well, I finally have a defense date for my dissertation.
Lagaspa!
I don't remember if I told you guys or not. I probably did.
Oh.
Yeah, April. It is April 18th, and I'm already full of stress about it.
You're like, taxes, dissertation,
for the
spring allergies. It's all coming for me right then.
For the listeners, it's only February 2nd, so I have time.
You got time.
It is nonetheless stressful.
So what do you have to do between now and then? You got to polish up your paper, make sure you have the whole thing memorized.
Yeah, I gotta polish it up. The third chapter is under revision from my advisor right now, my third research chapter. And I'm waiting for feedback for the other chapters from one of my committee members who's just been very busy. So all that uncertainty is upsetting, to say the least. But everyone knows, the whole committee knows, even if my dissertation needs some more editing or whatever, I am defending April 18th, no matter what. So we got to all get on the same page, because I don't think I can do another semester. The grad school is like, what are you doing? Please leave.
Like, get out of here.
Get out of here.
We don't want to see you anymore. I just found out that someone I went to high school with is defending their PhD.
Oh, exciting. In what?
Like 2 weeks. In I think what they've been doing, and I could be totally wrong about this, is like studying pollution as it goes through bivalve clams, I think is what they're doing.
Yeah, all clams are bivalves.
Okay, here we go. The title of her dissertation is Reflections. Oyster growth, so not clams, oysters. Oyster growth and ecology across the millennia and the modern management implications.
Oh, neat. So, that sounds like a fun paper. Very
shout
cool.
Out to Alexandria Marquette.
Good
who
luck,
went to high school
Alexandria.
with me. Otherwise, I've had no contact with. It's weird that I'm mentioning her, but it's fine.
Well, I hope she crushes it and does a great job. And I love the pun in her dissertation.
Of course, I know you love a watery friend and a pun at the same time.
I love both. My dissertation will probably have otter knot in it, because I'm studying mosquito and fly thermotaxis, which is behavior related to temperature. I don't know if anyone will get that joke though, because otter knot is so old.
Otter knot does sound like an otter that is going to space, which is an adorable idea. I love it. The little floating otter and a little suit there.
But that's what's bugging me. It's exciting and stressful at the same time, and I'm looking forward to being done with all of this, so I can be Dr. Kelly and move on to the next chapter.
This is probably too early to ask. Will you feel relieved when it's done, or you feel like, oh, what do I do next when it's done?
Relieved. I think I'm going to feel like tons of relief, because it's just been a long process.
Right. A lot of work.
And over COVID was particularly stressful, and so put it all behind me.
You're ready to
what's
blast off to the Bahamas. Well, you can probably still hear it in my voice a little bit. We had the flu at our house the last feels like month and a half, even though it's probably only been about 2 weeks. But it just goes through each person. and there's 4
Did
of
everyone
us.
get it?
Well, the one who brought it home, the kindergartner, had it for like 12 hours, like overnight, and then he was fine. And then a couple days later, the 2-year-old got it, his little sister, and then the following morning, I had it.
Oh,
So,
man.
and I don't want to get crazy on here, but the 2 people who had flu shots didn't get sick, and the 2 people that didn't have flu shots were on death's door for 8 days. So,
Well, the flu vaccine doesn't cover all strains of the flu.
it doesn't. It
It
doesn't
can't.
cover all strains.
So you
Right.
probably got
They pick one.
unlucky and hit it. They picked, I think,
Well,
at least a dozen, but
well,
I think it's
no.
about a dozen.
The fellas got it. My husband and my son both got the flu shot, and they're fine.
Okay. I thought it was the opposite. Sorry. Yeah.
And then myself and the 2-year-old didn't get flu shots, and we laid in bed. I don't know if you've ever heard a 2-year-old lay in bed and say, "I don't feel well. I don't feel well."
I don't ever want to hear that. No.
for 3 days straight. I don't feel well.
Oh, poor
I'm
kiddo.
really thick. I'm really thick. She kept saying, yeah. I don't recommend it, and you can still hear it in my voice. I think I've got 1 day left, and then I'll be back to
You sound
what
pretty good.
counts as
Yeah,
passable.
you sound
Yeah.
all right. A little nasally, maybe, but otherwise
Yeah,
okay.
it's all right
The
here.
face.
It's like
Ooh, and the sinuses. Ugh.
today's the first day my teeth don't hurt. Do your
Oh, I
teeth
hate
hurt when
that.
you get
Yeah,
congested?
when my sinuses get really clogged, my teeth ache. It's a
Hate
weird
that for
feeling.
me.
I hate that for you too, my friend.
I don't think I've
It
ever had
hasn't.
that. That sucks.
Where your teeth
Oh,
hurt? Oh, it's bad. You
yeah,
gotta
it's
have
like
a lot of pressure in your
it
face.
fills all here, and then it goes down your jaw, and then you can't eat anything but chicken noodle soup.
Oh,
I've never had it so bad where I couldn't eat, but where it's just like
Mm.
a constant, like, I don't know.
It's like your teeth are too big for your mouth. It's bad. I don't
Yeah.
like it. Well,
Well,
speaking of teeth,
I'm
and
glad you're on the mend.
speaking of teeth and water boys and being annoyed, we're doing the Dobson fly this week.
Which are none of those things. Oh, other than a water boy.
They're a water boy.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that that's not a little bit teeth.
I
guess
got
they're
some
not really
chompies.
teeth. Chompers,
Chompers.
teeth, 1-to-1.
Mandibles.
Mandibles. So I do know what this one looks like, just because I looked up what it looked like. When producer Derek was like, "Let's do Dobson flies," I was like, "Okay, I don't know what that is," and I try not to ever look. But this time I happened to look, and my gosh,
were you impressed?
I'm always impressed by a set of chompers. Because I just think these chompers are cool when they have like a really exaggerated set of mandibles, and we've done a couple that have had the big long.
Yeah, like a stag beetle.
Stag beetle
is probably a good example.
These ones seem more dangerous than stag beetle. Stag beetle has a little bit of a, I don't know, a ribbing on the end that makes it look like it's for grabbing.
Oh, yeah.
But not for piercing. Whereas Dobson, I would say, he looks like he's gonna get you.
So for the listeners, you're probably in the car listening to this right now. That's how I listen to most of my podcasts. If you're in a safe spot and you're not driving, take a gander, take a Google of Dobson fly, DOBSONFLY, male. You want to start with the male because, my goodness.
So he's big.
They're big. So a Dobson fly is about 9 centimeters or 3.5+ inches in body length. Very long. I know we hear the word fly and we think short, squatty.
This guy's a horsefly in that he's the size of a horse.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized Dobson fly?
Oh my
or 100?
100 fly-sized horses?
Yeah.
I gotta go. You gotta fight the 100 horses. I'm sorry. One of these guys the size of a horse, that's some like dungeon meshy level stuff of like, that's a monster.
Yeah, it would be very uncomfortable seeing one that big.
I mean, he's got scimitars on his face. You couldn't come at him. And plus, horses are, they're jerks, but all of their danger is in their size because it's not like they have, razor sharp.
A tiny horse kicking you. Although, I don't know, Dobson fly size horse kicking you, that might be kind of uncomfortable. But not, mostly you just roll them over. You just
Okay,
roll them over. They're cute.
Yeah, okay, so he's like the size of not my finger, because I got little fingers, but the size of a finger.
It's probably as a little bit longer than your pointer finger, I would guess.
Yeah.
I know you do have a little. Look at that. I wish the listeners could see your little fingies.
My little baby hands, my little toddler hands attached to my big old body. But yeah, maybe my middle finger. But like, okay, so like toy horse sized. And then
that's right. Producer Derek is saying like salamander sized.
Yeah.
It's like a salamander sized fly.
I think he's accusing me of having hands like a salamander
fingers. I guess. But I would also see a
lot of palm and no fingers.
That's about as long as a salamander body too.
But they're big. This is the point. Mm-hmm. They're inches long. And they
have some prehistoric looking body plan too. They're like that elongated abdomen and thorax are a little weird to see.
It's not dissimilar from the doodle bug in
body plan. Yeah. They're similar. So these guys. So we'll start. Where should I start? There are around 60 species of Dobson fly total.
They're not far from you, I believe.
I have an eastern Dobson fly over here on my neck of the woods. You guys, I believe, have the western Dobson fly, Cordalis texanus. Mine's Cordalis cornutus. And I will say I can tell a small story. I don't always have stories to share, which is fun. So when I worked for an environmental consulting company, we were sent up to the Kalamazoo River. There was an oil spill there in, I don't remember, maybe the early to mid 2000s, I guess. And they sent me up basically to be a man. I was an assistant project scientist, which means nothing to everybody. But
you were just on the team.
Yeah. They
were paying you, so you weren't an intern.
Yeah. I was paid. I was like low level scientist, and so they send me up basically to monitor construction workers who are there to sort of dig out the oil, the contaminant from the river, from like different small islands on the river. So we get out there, and one, it was a horrible situation, and ladies who work in fields that are male dominated, you got to advocate for yourself, because this got tricky for me. There were thousands of people involved in this big project, and very few of them were women. Like probably somewhere around 100 or less, maybe 100 to 200. I don't know. Somewhere between 100 and 200 people involved were women. Most of them were. The rest of the group were. Thousands of people were men, which is fine, except when you have that level of sort of gender difference, no one's thinking about kind of normal stuff that a lady might have to deal with in the field.
Right.
And one problem was...
It's just not an automatic on the checklist of like, and we got to make sure...
I get it. But it can turn out to be pretty bad. So I get up there, they put me out on an island with about 12 male construction workers, all very nice, for me to sort of tell what to do. And it is summer, 95, 98 degrees, super high humidity. We have to wear full PPE. So like long sleeves, safety vest, flotation vest, hard hat, long pants, and
a safety vest and a flotation vest. Why not just make the flotation vest safety color?
The same colored? Yeah, I don't know. It's it's weird.
Think ahead here, guys.
This is so we get out there, and the island that they put me on is 12 feet by 20 feet long. They're small little bits, and they're all over the Kalamazoo River.
It's a sandbar, really.
Yeah, and there's like no trees. So you're out there all day, where am I supposed to use the bathroom? They boat you out. The men just like go to one side, pee as is easy for them, and they're like, well, we won't look if you want. And I'm like, I know you're probably not going to look. They're all quite respectful, but I'm like, this is not really appropriate. Also, I'm your boss at the moment. Like,
this ain't the look.
Yeah, this is all bad. So I did not drink enough water because I didn't want to have to pee while I was out on these little disaster islands. And I got really sick. I got heat stress because you need to be hydrated in 90 plus degree high humidity weather.
Yeah, I'll say.
So at one point I got really nauseous and I stopped sweating, and I knew that was a problem. So like the med boat comes, like we radio in the med boat. The construction guys are very nice. They're like all around me trying to make sure I'm comfortable. And they get me on the med boat and I get back to like an EMT or whatever. And they're like, what happened? And I told them, I said, well, I can't drink enough water because where am I supposed to relieve myself on this island of no trees and 12 men? What am I supposed to do?
It's like a word puzzle. Where are you supposed to? You have a chicken, a feed, a boat, and a fox, and nowhere to pee.
Well, I saw understanding dawn on this man's face. And he went, oh no.
He's not even giving you a pot to piss in here, as the saying goes.
So I like get back to later that day to the main thing. The big manager calls me in and I have to explain what happened. And they basically they said, well, even the men shouldn't be going to the bathroom like on the island. And I go, where do you expect any of us to go to the bathroom?
We're out there for this, this is not even a gendered issue. This is just straight up they forgot people have to use the potty.
Yeah, it was crazy. It only became an issue because I'm a woman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I had to say, hey, this is
by the way.
And I told them, I go, I don't mind peeing outside. I camp all the time. It's not like a problem. I said, there's just no cover. I said, if you just get me a curtain or something, I'm okay with that.
Those pop-up spray tan booths
but
you see at the beach.
But they said, no, absolutely not. No one should be going to the bathroom out there. They just didn't think about it. So the very next day, they had porta-johns on airboats that went up and down the river so people could use the bathroom.
The things they don't think about when putting people out into the woods.
I flew home like the next day. My stint was over. And when I got back and my manager in New Jersey was like, oh, what happened? He's like, he goes, I'm so sorry. That should not have happened. I can't believe it was handled that way. And then he was like, can we send you back in a few weeks? And I said, no. Nope, I'm good.
You cannot.
No, I'm not going back. But so while I was out there, Michigan, Kalamazoo, not covered in oil, is a beautiful place. You should check it out if you're around. But so on a day where I was fine, it didn't get heat stress. They're digging up all this muck and oil and stuff from these little islands. And one of the guys brings over a dobson fly, a full dobson fly, and they're all so nice. They're all from the South, so they just called me Miss Kelly the whole time. so sweet.
Miss Kelly.
Yeah, and he comes over and he goes, Miss Kelly, do you know what this is? And it's this huge 3.5-inch long big dobson fly. But it was like, so the dobson fly has a pre-pupal stage, and that's kind of what it looked like. It's white and half formed and has like weird half wings. It looks like something you've dug up from hell. It is crazy looking.
A lot of times those they get like this ghostly pale grub stage.
That's what they look like.
It is horrifying. Oh, great. I mean, it's very xenomorph mid-transformation sort of like, no.
It was something. But yeah, so that was my experience. And everyone, man, woman, non-binary friend, just make sure that you are safe and out in the field, and then you got somewhere to go to the bathroom.
Listen. If you've got a body, that's what I tell my kids all the time. If you have a body, you have to eat, drink, sleep, and poop. If you have a body, you have to do those things. It doesn't matter what that body is, does, how it functions. Those are things you have to do.
Yeah, in comfort and safety, or at least safety, maybe not comfort. But yeah, I would have totally been fine using the bathroom out there, as I've done many times, as a field ecologist and an avid backpacker and camper. But for work,
I've seen a lot of discussion lately online about, are you outdoorsy or are you outsidey? And I want to be, I'm outsidey. I'll go for a walk.
Is outdoorsy like, are you willing to go to the bathroom?
Outdoorsy is like, I'm peeing in a bucket in the woods. I'm outdoorsy. There's not a door. I'm outsidey. I want to go for a walk on like a very clearly designated path through a local park. Okay. I want to go. My camping limit is like 24 hours. And I'm like, I'm done. Let's go home. I want to go back to civilization, please. Whereas my dad, he's like you. He wants to spend 2 weeks at the beach just looking at shells.
Yeah, I want to sleep outside. I want to sleep on the ground.
With a piece of rope tied between 2 trees.
Well, Amanda's dad, you and me, let's go camping.
Go. And
I'll go bond with your father.
Wearing an old defunct Boy Scout shirt today. How appropriate.
I like that shirt. That's pretty cool.
It's Camp Baldwin. Producer Derek spent many days as a youth there, learning how to tie knots and start fires.
Well, if you look at the live recording chat, Amanda, you can see what this pre-pupil stage is.
My chat is closed. Let me open it up.
And we'll, for the listeners, we'll put this stuff, if we can, on socials, so you can kind of see what we're talking about when this goes live.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking. Oh, there he is. Yes, it's very alien. It's very.
It's a little.
It's
alien.
very. This is a movie I've never seen, to the chagrin of my husband. That District is it District 9?
Oh, District 9, great movie. Yeah. How have you not seen that, Amanda? It's so good.
I know, right? Because I don't like to cry.
Oh, yeah, and you will. Oh, you will.
I will.
Yeah, great movie. When you're feeling a day like you might want to cry, put it on.
I have a day. All right. But that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting from this.
Mm-hmm.
This the kind of like the big head and then a bunch of little shrimpy little arms, and then the long
arms,
bug butt.
But before they become these like hefty boys and girls, with varying mandible size, which I guess I'll get into in a little bit. They start out as aquatic. You might have heard the larva is called Heckgrammites. Great name.
I've not heard
fish.
That's a great name.
Fishermen love to use them as bait. They're great for like bass fishing because they're also large. They're about larvae are pretty. Yeah, larvae are around the same, about 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches long. I should mention that the adults have a 5-inch wingspan. Which is about almost 13 centimeters for everybody else.
Okay. So like we've described it a little bit, but it's got its buggy head, it's got its long buggy body. The males have these huge mandibles, which we'll get to, and then he's got 5-inch wings, and you're just like on the pond, you're fishing, you're like, I hope I get some Heckgrammites.
Well, wingspan, right? Wing tip to wing tip.
Tip to tip. So each wing's 2.5 inches here.
Yeah. Long. It's a long.
And he's coming at you. No, thank you. I'd fall out of my boat. There's no other scenario that happens here other than I'm fishing. I'm like, I hope I get a big mouth bass or a small mouth bass. I don't really know the difference. I don't fish. And then then it comes at me. He doesn't have to even be trying to get me.
They are nocturnal, so just don't.
Oh, I'm night fishing too in this scenario.
You're night fishing in this scenario. I can't picture you in a boat at night, Amanda.
No, there's a reason. I don't go outside at night. That's when the cougars are out, and I won't be caught unawares by the cougars.
Fair. It's fair.
Their night vision is so superior to mine in every single way. I look. for all these years, humans have been making nice places to stay at night.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I to defy my ancestors, their dream of getting to sleep in a nice, warm
Being
place
indoors.
where the cougars can't get them? Okay, I'm just following what my great 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 grandmother
She'd be
Olga.
proud.
It's what she wants
She would be
for
proud.
me, right?
But for everyone else who wants to be out, they do have aquatic larvae that swim. They're active hunters, which is pretty cool.
They're not dissimilar from like the dragonfly larva. I feel that they were very
Yeah,
the dragonfly
a
larva
different
are very
body plan.
yeah, I think so. But
These are
like,
more like they almost look
let me look.
sort of centipede-like, I guess. They're kind of spiny, the larvae. Big mandibles for chomping and hunting.
Yeah, different body plan. The dragonfly looks more
Gills. Yeah,
like
they're
his adult form, but no wings. But the
similar.
Dobsonfly, same thing. They basically look like the adult form, but without the wing setup.
Yeah,
Which is
they're close.
which
Less
is
of
the
a
gracious hunterness of the dragonfly larva versus the
yeah.
Dobsonfly.
And they can pack a bite. If a larva bites you, it can break skin. They're pretty. They have
Well,
strong
he's
little
3 inches
mouths.
and he's got huge mandibles.
He's got the touch. He's got the power. I don't want to be.
The power of voodoo over here.
And so they start off life above a stream because the larva wants to be wet. So it's
Okay.
above a stream. Eggs are laid, about 1,000 eggs per female are laid on leaves. And I think what's kind of cool about this is the egg mass looks like bird poop. It's like white, it looks like a white splatter, and it's in
Oh,
3 like thin layers. So that probably all that white is going to deflect heat, right? We don't want them to dry out. So that's called albedo with light reflection. And 2, the camouflage of looking like bird poop is going to help them not get eaten by predatory bugs who want to munch on eggs.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, it works. It's good. So it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for them to hatch. They only hatch at night because, again, this is a nocturnal species.
I don't know when it's night. Is it just a temperature thing? They're like, okay, it's cool enough now. Now it's time to go.
It's probably a shift in temperature. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're not getting a lot of. It's not like they're getting moonlight feedback when you're in an egg case.
Yeah, I don't know how much light gets through an egg case. I mean, they got eyes.
Yeah,
Famously, bugs have
they
incredible
do.
eyes.
They do have eyes. They are not an eyeless species. Like caves, sometimes you get cave bugs and they don't have eyes, which is kind of fun. Well, fun to talk about. I don't know if it's fun for them to not
I
have
don't
eyes.
know.
They don't know the
They've never
difference.
had eyes.
Uh, so they hatch from the egg mass. They all plop into the water, and then they kind of wiggle down to the substrate where they try to they have little like claspers on the back of their abdomens, which will help them hook on to rocks and things because they want quickly moving streams. Which is why they're expensive, by the way. If you want to use Heckgramites as bait for fishing and you go to the store, you're kind of going to pay out the nose because they're a pain to catch. And that's what you're paying for.
Because of the swiftly moving water where they live.
Yeah, you can't just they don't just huddle around.
Right. What I like most about rivers is you never step in the same river twice.
Very nice, Meta. 10 out of 10.
I sneak in my Disney adult references where
Yes. It takes about 12 molts from there for them to become that pre-pupal stage. When they do that, they dig down into the sand and kind of hang out for about 14 or so days before they become a full pupa. And then another 7 to 14 days until they become adults. So they have a pretty long, like a fairly longish larval or pupal stage. But as we find with most adult bugs, or many, not most, but many adult bugs, they don't really feed once they come out as adults.
Once they reach the loving stage, the time for eating is done.
Yeah, it's all about the loving portion of their
All
life.
about the loving.
Although studies, people have kept them in captivity, and they will drink honey water, and occasionally you'll find them like on fermenting bait traps. So they might kind of take a little bit of food, but it's really not what they're considering. They're only active at night. They're mostly just focused on reproducing. Males live as adults for only about 3 days. Females will get about 10 days out of it before they're done. So that's how it
So
goes.
the odds of one coming at me in my night boat are really, I've only really got like a week.
You're slim. It's slim pickings. Yeah.
I just got to stay off the boat for that 1 week and I'm good. But I'm
they're
an avid
really
fisherman,
cool looking. They're
a cool looking bug. They're got
very
this
prehistoric
beautiful, yeah. I mean, they've got that floor plan, that bug plan that like, there's nothing wrong with this. There's no reason to change it, and so they just had it forever, right? They've got their pinchy little head with two like bulbous eyes on top, and then a long antenna that seem to go backwards rather than forwards, which I don't know why I always imagine antenna forwards. And then they've got these two big wings that are really beautiful, almost like, what's that shell? I can't remember now, but it almost
shell.
It's like iridescent on the inside. Oh, it's
like a mother of pearl. Or
yeah, sort of. It has like a name, but I can't remember what it is. Abalone, that's the one.
Abalone.
I knew I could count on you to know what a shelly little water boy would be. But almost like this abalone-esque like pattern to it of like veins and cracks and and then it covers up most of the bug, and it's actually really, really pretty. And when it's got its wings out, it's got the four wing setup that is so pretty. So we call them flies, but as is often the case on this podcast, they're not really true flies, quote unquote. Fly is just the colloquial term for it flies.
Yeah, we love to just use flies for stuff.
Because he's got the 4 wings, which makes him not a Dioptera.
Diptera. Diptera. No, they belong to order Megaloptera, which just refers to the size of their wings. So mega Loptera, big, large wings.
Yeah.
So they've got
carry that beefy boy.
4 big wings to poorly carry a big beefy insect. They don't fly very well. But yeah, so Megaloptera is the order, not unlike our true flies. And when I'm thinking, so we've talked about their wings, we talked about their swimmies. So mandibles.
What are those big mandibles for? My assumption, of course, is being that it's some sort of competing with other fellas for the attention of a lady, as is often the case in these things.
Well, when you're only out there for 3 days,
right.
you gotta make it work. Yeah, so the males have these really long, overlapping, sort of scissor-like pinchers, which look silly. I think they look very silly.
I think they do look silly. I think they look nightmarish. I say that in the sense that, like, if I was to imagine a scary bug, I would definitely put these big old mandibles on the front of it.
Yeah.
But given that he only lives 3 days, it makes sense because, like, these they're impractical.
They're not. Well, they're not clearly not. They're not for eating because they generally, like I said, they generally don't eat. What they are for is flipping each other over.
Oh, okay. It's all coming together now.
So think of it less like I'm gonna cut you with this floppy scissor, and more like I'm gonna get this under your body and flip you over.
I'll flip you over.
It's a very silly way to fight. Very silly. Although we saw that with stag and rhinoceros beetles. They did a lot of flipping.
They did a lot of flipping.
Males
That
flipping
seems to
males.
be a common sort of. I think turtles also flip each other.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's just the result of ramming two turtles together. But like, it seems like a good way to be like, hey, look, no one here has to die, but you have to know
Yeah.
that I won.
Yeah, this is my territory. I would rather not risk real serious harm to my body.
Right.
So we're just going to flip each other until one of us gets so tired, we're done. That's kind of how it goes. Yeah. The females, though, they have short pinchers and they're quite strong. And if they bite you, they will draw blood. The females are the scarier. Yeah.
Oh, it's always the case with these bugs. Who's gonna draw blood? It's the ladies.
Not to drink, just to protect. You know, she bites, she protect. It's pretty rough.
She attack.
But even, yeah, she's living about 10-ish days. But that is, I mean, that's dobsonflies, man. They're just crazy looking. And I wish, I do hope that the listeners Google dobsonfly male, but maybe not at night right before bedtime. We'll just leave that as a, just in case.
Yeah, not while you're on a boat headed out to, what did we say? Big mouth bass?
Or smallmouth bass.
Or smallmouth bass. I don't know if they live in the same spot. I don't
with
know
Amanda, because
fish.
this is Amanda's hobby. She loves it.
You know me. I definitely love to eat fish too. I definitely don't hate to eat fish.
Well, if we're thinking about superpowers, then
I mean, I feel like it all kind of comes down to those big swords, or because they're kind of scimitar-esque in shape.
Yeah.
Is my only. I'm so bad at drawing swords. Why did I sign up for this podcast? I'm so bad at drawing swords.
It doesn't have to be a sword.
It does have to be a sword.
Because they're kind of like the males they're not like super firm. I don't know what other weapon you would use if you're going to draw a male, though, other than a sword, I suppose. And they're also, so I wanted to mention that Heckgrammites, their larval form, are very sensitive to pollution and water, like really sensitive. So scientists sometimes use them as what we call a bioindicator. So you look at a sensitive species in that area and kind of see how that population is doing, and that can help tell you how bad the water quality is. We do this with several species of invertebrate. It's not just insects too. Amphipods are another group, which are small crustaceans that we also use for bioindication. And I believe there is a DC character named Heckgrammite. So there's
really?
There's our culture for the podcast.
Now I got a looky look here.
I don't know what he looks like though.
DC.
Boop.
Oh, look at this! Look at this!
I'm gonna go with kind of lame.
Yeah,
looking.
he just kind of looks like a bug. He's got a beetle back. He's got mandibles on his face that aren't like even.
It looks like they're not part of his mouth. They're just coming out of his cheeks.
Oh, okay. Here we go. I found him from like Silver Age. He looks cooler in Silver Age. He's nasty. Hold on, let me copy the image here. I don't know if it'll let me do. Oh no, it won't let me do it in. Okay, yeah, you might have to look him up yourself, Kelly. But yeah, he's kind of just half man, half grub. I mean, he's gross looking. He's like nasty. He's gross. And again, they didn't even use the obvious double swords. But it looks like he did show up on the Supergirl TV show, and they gave him a horror mouth, which I hate for him.
A horror mouth?
Like his jaw unhooks, and he's got little yeah, it's not cute.
Did you say Supergirl? I mean, like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of this, though? What is this even gonna do?
Yeah, that's my question. It's like not even effective. It's not even an effective use of the power set.
No, he's got, so if folks Google like Heckgrammite Supergirl.
Yeah.
It is weird. Look, it's like a double jaw kind of with two little like tiny bug arms coming out.
Tiny little man. Yeah. It's more body horror than I like in a TV show.
Well, it just seems is he gonna bite
Yeah,
with it? I don't get it.
Whereas with his comic form seems to be more Man-Bat-esque in that he's half a bug thing, half a man. Which seems more useful if I was doing something with my powers.
Yeah.
But not cute. Not cute. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I would say the Silver Age when he actually looks like a Heckgrammite.
Yeah.
With like people
they're less scared of
kind
it
of.
when they don't have to apply it to a real actor who wants to go on to have other jobs after this.
That's a good way to think about it.
You know, be like, I like him, but I looked up his acting reel, and it's mostly just eating things with his horror mouth. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to act through the horror mouth. So superpowers really. I know we got flight poor flights. Swimming, probably some strength thrown in there if males are flipping each other around. And for the females, strong jaws, but not really so strong for the males. Yeah, with swimming comes breathing underwater, but it's not really a power set that can be shown in art. So I don't know what you want to do with any of that. What are your thoughts on drawing a Heckgrammite? Or a Dobson fly? Hero.
Hero or villain. I've kind of drawn them as like assassins right now. Let me show you what I got right now, and then we'll move together. First, I gotta move this whole head. It's not in the right spot. There we go. All right. Here's where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. Then we can decide where we need to move from here. So I've done the male with the double sword and a big long cape because the wings, and then I've done a female is still like in her larval stage, so that she can be aquatic.
She's a little horrifying.
Yeah, well, I felt like we had to honor that it's a little bit of a horrifying shape.
Yeah, so. I like that. That's great. I don't think you've done like a lower half larval form.
No, I've been tempted to several times, but this is the first time I thought, okay, if she can't be a mermaid, she could be a hell beast.
She is frightening.
Yeah, I put her in the larval stage so that we could show that they're still underwater for most of their life cycle. It seems like they're underwater.
Yeah.
Speaking of underwater, how are they breathing underwater? I don't know. I'm sure they just have gills. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Where are are they on the sides?
Along the abdomen. Because remember, insects breathe through sphericals through the abdomen mostly. Yeah.
They're not having to pop up to take a breath of water like a whale.
No, if you hold a bug's head underwater, don't do that. It's mean. They will be fine.
I'd be impressed if you could adjust his head under the water.
Just like a little dip.
All right,
and we did. Sorry. We did get a listener email, which was very nice. That mentioned midges. Thank you.
Semi-aquatic. I don't know if they're aquatic so much as they just hang out around water.
Their larvae are aquatic too. Yeah. So midges are true flies. Midges belong to order Diptera, and they like to hang out. Well, they lay their eggs in the water or along the water side, probably depending on species. And their larvae are aquatic. They're very closely related to mosquitoes. So the two life cycles are very, very similar. Except with midges, you'll get huge clouds of them, like huge clouds of midges all come out kind of at once. They mate, they die, and then they kind of continue on with the life cycle. Around here, I see a lot of, I don't know what species they are, but they're green. they're kind of like bright green little midges, and they're kind of cute. So, but yeah, they're not like, we can't do a whole episode on midges because that was basically it. they don't have like a,
Yeah, we talk about
you
them
know.
in the chocolate episode, and they kind of are just like,
Mhm.
I'm small, I fit in this flower.
Yep, yeah, they're pollinators. They're pollinators. They're food for other things. Some midges bite, some don't. That's midges. But we're always happy to get listener emails. And that listener did say some very kind things about us. So thank you so much. That really makes my day to know that anyone cares that we're doing this, because we put effort into it. Amanda has to draw, and Derek does all the editing. And I do have to read, I guess, about the bug for the week. And I write the field notes that do go up on the website. Listeners, if you haven't checked out the website to see the detailed field notes, and Amanda's art's there too, and usually some photos of the bug we're talking about, please check that out at BugsNeedHeroes.com. Yeah, it's a good time. But thanks to the listeners for just hanging out with us.
It's also in the show notes. You can see I usually will link to the show page for all of Kelly's notes.
Oh, right. Yeah, for the podcast show notes too. Amanda, how is the artwork?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to add at this stage. I've sent you my basic. I've added some like patterning, but like I'm not sure what else they need to look Dobsonfly-esque.
I think that's pretty good, really. I guess I think this will work, and it's just going to need color at this point, because they don't. Yeah, they just have big wings, either long mandibles for the males, short, stubby for the females. You've captured the larval form so disgustingly, as you should. Yeah. How many legs, I guess, would you give a Dobsonfly?
I don't know. I think they're doing a lot of heavy lifting with the initial impression of, look at me, I'm a Dobsonfly. I've got this nasty mouth and this nasty head and these nasty wings, and I'm gonna bite you if you put your toe in the water. But they are very useful, because it sounds like they're like, very useful for fishermen like me, like myself.
Yes, for bass fishermen like Amanda.
Which I think bass fishermen's like the most, that's like the competitive one, right? When I think of competitive fishing, I think of bass fishing, unless you're like out on the sea and then you're trying to get like sailfish and stuff, which is like wild to me.
Think about what a great food source the adults are, because they're so large for other animals.
Yeah. If I'm a woodpecker, I'm trying to get as many of these Dobsonflies as I can.
Birds, small mammals. I'm sure a fox wouldn't pass up a big juicy Dobsonfly. Yeah, they're out there. Yeah. Everything out there is living its life, adding to the ecosystem.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a lot of negative points, other than he's disgusting. That I don't want him near me.
A face only a mother could love. The Dobsonfly.
A face only a Dobson mother could love. For those reasons, I think I'm gonna rate him pretty highly.
Oh,
just because I've got no negatives. I've got because like, a mosquito bites me. I don't like that. Take away a point. I guess the Dobsonfly does bite a little. It
could bite you, but doesn't want to. It's not looking to bite you. If you harass it, it's gonna bite you.
Right. And if I get bit,
your fault.
Exactly. My theory of like, if I get bit by a shark, that was my fault, because I was where the shark was.
Yeah.
Truly, that's why I fear the cougar. It's because the cougar's right to bite me, because I am living where the cougar should be.
You're in the cougar's house now.
Correct. I'm gonna go 4 out of 6. Take away a point for I don't want it near me, and take away a point for it could possibly bite me.
Okay.
But other than that, I feel like I've got no beef. I've got no beef. I've got no.
That's fair. I'm gonna give it a 3, because it's not super
because it doesn't do much. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. I love that it exists. It's wild looking. I like that it's useful for fishermen. I like that it's a big food source, like a large protein pack munch for lots of other animals out there.
It's just a trail mix flying around.
Yeah, they don't bite. They're crazy looking. They're pretty prehistoric looking, which I kind of like. But yeah, I would say a bug that I don't have any beef with, but is not super exciting, is about a 3 for me. I think a lot of listeners are going to Google what this bug looks like and be mad at us. So I'm sorry in advance.
I apologize. I don't want to make it sound like he's going to like haunt your nightmares, but he is a very... You know that scene in The Matrix where they drop that thing down his belly button?
Oh,
and you're like...
It does look like a Heckgrammite. A little bit, yeah.
It looks a little bit like that. Or I'm like... And I'm more traumatized by them dropping...
Or Wrath of Khan, where it goes in your ear. It kind of looks like that guy.
Yes, it's got a lot of yerk. It's got a lot of, I'm gonna put this in your ear. I'm gonna force your eye open, and this guy's gonna get in there, Baldur's Gate 3 style.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like that little guy from Baldur's Gate 3.
Even though he's not even like, this like not even a parasitoid one, and we've covered parasitoid ones, but somehow this guy's got this shape.
We should cover a pretty gnarly parasitoid sometime. I think what we've covered hasn't been too bad.
Then I have to look at pictures of parasitoids. That was like big on the like. There was a Reddit this week that was like, "What is this?" And it was a little caterpillar with parasitoids all over it, and I was
little wasp
multiple
eggs.
People sent that to me. I think Derek sent it to our group chat.
Yes,
my friend Rebecca sent it to me. I think Chelsey sent it to me. Like everyone was like, "Hey, check it out! Check it out!"
Welcome.
I was like, "I've seen it."
Welcome to being the co-host on a bug podcast, Amanda.
I seen it.
I signed up for all those pictures because this is my line of work, but you, my friend,
didn't want it.
You've been thrust into the world of horrifying bug photos. Friends, mutual friends of me and Amanda, you can just send them to me. You don't have to hurt Amanda, so I will.
That reminds me, I gotta text Dr. Ped. Remind me to do this. On how to identify the plants in my bathroom so I can know if I can let my cat into the bathroom or not.
Okay.
Try and eat my plants and get sick.
You could probably send Pet a picture.
I will.
Think he'll mind.
Look at.
Send it to the group chat.
It's probably fine.
There are a lot of plants that your cats cannot have.
Exactly.
So I would really be a bunch of plants I have are sequestered into this room because
that's why
is a munch and he cannot have them.
That's why
I make it lucky and have a cat who doesn't chew though. Does Marvel chew?
She hasn't been too chewy. She's really into string. That's really the thing.
Oh,
and
that will get stuck in her intestine.
Right. And I crochet a lot. And so I've had to put all the crochet stuff up out of her reach. But I keep finding little like 6-inch pieces of string that she's found somewhere, you know? And I'm like, girl, stop it.
She is a cat and they will get everywhere.
They will find it.
They'll find a way. Nature finds a way.
It finds a way.
So thank you. I guess that's DOBSONFLIES. Google, check it out. Sorry in advance. If you have bugs that you would like us to cover, please send us an email. We're happy to try out whatever you're interested in. I think we probably have some guests coming up. That'll be fun. We do love listener emails, so please send us a nice little note. Tell us if you've saved a bug recently. Love to hear about that.
I want to hear if someone's ever done the Q-tip thing that Kevin recommends, where you have a Q-tip of water and give it to a spider.
And give it to a spider, yeah.
I want to know if someone's ever really done it.
Give your spiders water on a Q-tip, guys.
I want to know. Film the process. I want to see.
And please, if you like our podcast, please rate us on Apple. That helps other people find us, which would be great. Or whatever other services you can actually rate podcasts on. I guess Spotify you can too. We're everywhere. Rate us, folks. Thank you. Amanda?
Stay warm out there. It's been cold. Stay dry. It's been wet. Stay happy. It's been sad. All right. Love you. Bye. Bugs Need Heroes was created by Derek Conrad and Kelly Zimmerman.
Hosted by Amanda Niday and Kelly Zimmerman. Bugs Need Heroes is produced and edited by Derek Conrad, with some assistance from Chelsey Bawden and a few cats. Character art is by Amanda Niday. Our music is Ladybug Castle by Roll Music. Got a bug question? Email us at bugsneedheroes@gmail.com. Check us out at bugsneedheroes.com, and most of the socials are under Bugs Need Heroes.
Thanks for stopping by. So I assume that they're not great flyers in that case. They do the same thing all the other big bugs do, which is kind of like, whoa.
They like barely make it. They land on you. They will land on you, but they're not. You know, Amanda's looking very fearful about the landing.
I don't
right
want
now.
them on me.
Hold on, I would like to go back and clarify.